Good evening. I'm Susan Levitt. I'm the Senior Vice President for Hospice of the East Bay. And on behalf of Hospice of the East Bay, we would like to thank you for joining us for this wonderful evening of memories and wonderful thoughts of people that have gone before us. As we enter the holiday season, it tends to be a little difficult time for those of us who have lost loved ones. And we certainly hope the activities this evening bring you comfort as we enter the holiday season. We have wonderful speakers with us this evening. I would like to take just a minute again and tell you a little bit about Hospice of the East Bay. I think many of you are familiar with us and have used our wonderful and compassionate services in the past. Hospice East Bay is a 42-year-old not-for-profit, community-based hospice. We serve a lot of residents in Martinez, and we are so honored to do so. It's a very difficult time at the end of life for those of us left behind, sometimes even more difficult. And we hope that you have had the experience of our wonderful clinical staff that has brought comfort and compassion and all of the things that support you as you journey with your loved ones. I do like to take another moment and tell people about what we do with your generous donations. We are so fortunate that we have you as a supporting community and raise funds to support programs that nobody else will pay for. You'll hear Brittany tonight, our wonderful music therapist, our bereavement programs, which we certainly hope a lot of you take advantage of in the community. Also a program that we do because of our compassion and our want to serve the community, any of the needs that you have. Our Bruns House, our 6-bed inpatient unit in Alamo, is the only inpatient unit for hospice patients at the end of life in Northern California, totally supported by community donations such as yours. I could go on for a really long time, but I know that this is not supposed to be the focus of this evening, but I did want to take a minute and remind people that when you generously donate to our organization, it is to a really wonderfully compassionate not-for-profit that serves your community year in and year out. So with that, again, on behalf of Hospice of the East Bay, thank you for joining us for this wonderful evening. And now we will have the presentation of colors.
Mark time. Huh. Detail. Huh. Left. Hey.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Port. Ho. Right. Pitch. Forward. Ho.
And now for the Mayor of Martinez, Rob.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. It's always my honor to be asked to come and speak to all of you and at this tree lighting for several reasons. One is that as the mayor of Martinez, I get to present at a lot of these events, and it's great to represent the citizens of the city. But also because hospice, especially Hospice of the East Bay, has touched my life a few times. As the mayor, I do proclamations all the time, and I can remember several years in a row doing proclamations for Hospice of the East Bay. And I always knew what they did, but didn't really have an intimate knowledge of the services they provided until my wife, Carol Ramirez Schroeder, contracted cancer about 17 years ago. And she fought that for many years. And when the doctor said, there's nothing else we can do, we called hospice. And they came in and they took over, and they got us through those 16 weeks. She passed away when she was 49. That was 11 years ago. Since then, my father, Bob Schroeder, who had a very long life, passed away in March at the age of 90. But my mom had hospice in there for about 10 days. So whether it's 16 weeks or 10 days or 1 day, it's really hard to explain how valuable that is. So I'd just like to thank everyone for being here, and be generous with your donations, and hopefully we all have a light or two or more of that on this tree for the loved ones that we have lost. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It is my honor to present our next speaker, Noga Welner-Kessler. She is one of our wonderful social workers at Hospice of the East Bay, but even more than that, Noga is our veteran coordinator and a veteran herself. Noga?
As we gather this evening to remember, I'm grateful for an opportunity once again to reflect on this unique time in the history of this country. Since the end of World War I, the war to end all wars, to our most recent conflicts in the Middle East, our older generation of warriors are aging in great numbers and passing away. Many of these veterans who have served in times of war, World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, are now coming onto palliative and hospice care. And as they pass, with them pass the stories of generations of service and sacrifice for this country. For our World War II veterans, as it is often said, the greatest generation, we remember you with pride, and with honor, we thank you. For our Korean War veterans, our warriors from a forgotten war, we remember. And we thank you for your courage and your sacrifice, and we honor you. For our Vietnam veterans, our brothers and sisters who fought 2 wars, one in Vietnam and one back home, and for those who are still fighting, it is a privilege and an honor to care for you, you who have sacrificed so much and given so dearly. We remember and we honor you, and we thank you for your service. And today, let us also remember our younger generations who have fought in our more recent wars in Iraq and Afghanistan and throughout the Middle East and the world. From Baghdad to Fallujah, Ramadi and Al-Assad, to Kabul and Kandahar, as well as many places throughout the region before and after. We remember your service with pride, and we recognize and honor the weight of those sacrifices made for our country. We honor you today and every day, and in memory of those Marines, soldiers, sailors, and airmen, and all veterans who are no longer with us, we thank you.
My name is Brittany Tachkov. I'm a board-certified music therapist with Hospice of the East Bay. I have had the honor to support individuals and veterans in the last portions of their lives, including the use of music for comfort, connection, and legacy. Through my work, I have learned the importance of staying open to the wisdom of those around us as a way of honoring every life And I'm so grateful to be here to present with you in these moments of dedication. In working with one of our veterans, Larry, I was able to witness the impact of community and camaraderie on an individual. He was a medic in the Army. He did not want to sound trite, and yet through his time in the service, he always returned to this idea of the importance of helping others and how helping others can be a way to bring our own happiness and bring us together. As we light each candle tonight, we honor an individual or a veteran who touched our lives and our country's history. Through Larry's words, may we be reminded of the community we are surrounded by in both grief and honoring the lives of those who have gone before us. Here are his words. You've looked for solutions, come to many conclusions. Sometimes the simplest ones are best. An unexpected reward, helping others can make you happy. An unexpected reward, helping others can make you happy. Thank you.
On the back page of your program is a poem. I'm sorry, on the inside page of your program. It's titled, We Remember Them. As I read the first line, please join me after that with We Remember Them. In the rising of the sun and in its going down. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter. In the opening of buds and in the warmth of summer. In the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn. In the beginning of the year and when it ends. When we are weary and in need of strength. When we are lost and sick at heart. When we have joys we yearn to share. For as long as we live, they too shall live, and we remember them.
And now for the names of those that we remember. Tammy Adair, Dorothy Almond, Liliana Alam, Pete Asunzian, Evelina Asunzian, Peanut Asunzian, Daryl Avon, Ruth Baker, Eva Barnes, Candace Bass, Donald Bodders, Richard Betcher, Lou Alice Blankenship, Zachary Bobrovsky, Cindy Bossy, Judy Brady, Mary Alice Call Bauman, Virgia Campbell, Don Cavinas, Enid Cohen, Marcella Kolarich, Tessa Conaden, Joe and Maddie Codone, Prayer Rose Currington, Ben Davis, Richard M. Davis, Paul D. Beaumont, Betty Deaton, Charlotte and William L. Desmond, Mike Dolan, Philomena Domingo, Susan Dorsif, Susan Edgar, Carol Engel, May Espinoza, Marie Etchinson, Galloway family. Michael Patrick Fahey. Karen Fazio. Amy Ferguson. George Fernandez. Luli Fisher. Mark Faust. Harold E. Franz. Shannon Friel. Virginia Gill. Woodrow Gonzalez. Connie Gonzalez. Ray Gonzalez. Hattie Graves. Shirley Hamilton. Michael Stephen Hamilton. Vivian Hartz. Richard High Jr. Linda L. Hebert. Ernest Holman. Marcella Holman. Dolores Holt. Kevin Hornbuckle. Hal Imperial. Frank Jagger. Carl Johnson. Merle Jocelyn. Loretta Kent. Jamal Khashoggi. Gus Creticus. Milton Kubisek. Joseph Kubisek Jackson. Sophia Kubisek Jackson. Carmen Lobo. Keith Lynch. Judy Motz. Sharon Mann. Mary C. Martinez. Rosemary Martinez. Donald McCormick. Doris McGrath. Peter McGrath. Rose Milata. Robert P. Muchanek, Sr. Robert P. Muchanek, Jr. Christine Myrtle. R.J. Odell. Jaquita Odell. Joe Ovick. Laura Bell Owens. Tyson Pagador. Alice Pardini. Carlene Patanad. Dolores Pearsall. Jahan Pena. Dylan Polson. Charles Priest. Sarah Priest. Joe Quiggins. Carol Ramirez Schroeder. Betty Jane Rank. Dorothy Rankins. Greta Ray. Mary Robertson. Oscar Rodriguez. Lynn Rose. Jerry Rotgaber. Jewel and Irene Rudd. Laverne Samford. Marilyn Sue Saunders. T. Scott Sayre. Gloria Scott. Kathy Searles. Daniel Semenza. Francis Semenza. Fali Sarah. Satinder Singh. Linda L. Smith. Lauren Ray Smith. John Stadelhofer. Clevie Marie Stark. Clara E. Stegenman. Doris L. Stegenman. Mary C. Stegenman. Robert B. Stegenman. Robert J. Stegenman. Angela Stephenson. Bucky Stevens. Bob Talman. Carolyn Timmons. Karen Tully. Carolyn Walker. Alexander Edinger Wallace. Anne Louise Wallace. Drew C. Wallace. Maggie McDonald McIntosh Wallace. Andrew Warner. Mel Weinstein. Wanda White. Wesley White. Amy Marie Wilhelmus. Jack Williams. Leona Williams. Kim Yeager. Bonnie Young. Frank P. Young. Jean Young. We remember them.
For our veterans that have passed, Andrew Bacigalupi, United States Air Corps; Joseph Bonici, United States Army Ranger; Charles Borg, World War II veteran; Dale Chapman, United States Air Force; Charles Donald Cole, Sr., United States Army. We have a Bach A. Galupe as well. Gerald Etzel, United States Marine Corps. Ray Dalton, United States Navy. James M. Fisher, United States Army. Neil Ferguson, United States Navy. Cecil Floyd, United States Navy. William Patrick Foley III, United States Navy. William Patrick Foley Jr., United States Army. John C. Gill, United States Coast Guard. Jerry E. Gould, United States Army. Jerry Ralph Holt, United States Navy. Ralph Holt, United States Navy. Sandy M. Kea, United States Army. Holt D. Lofton, United States Army. Gus Krikitokos, United States Navy. Tony Martinez, United States Army. John P. Middleton, United States Navy. Bill Reneke. Lo Polson, United States Air Force. Clayton Ray, World War II veteran. Jerry Schramm, United States Navy. There's Bill Ray Ronicky. And Dr. John Toth, United States Air Force.
As we end this evening, again, we'd like to thank you for joining us for this unbelievable ceremony. And as you look up at the wonderful tree in our city of Martinez, pick a light. That's your loved one. Their light will always shine on our lives. And as we drive by this wonderful tree and think of them, they're always in our hearts every day, every night, every year. Again, on behalf of Hospice of the East Bay, thank you for joining us.